All right. Now, the American singer-songwriter Rufus Wainwright has an extraordinary musical heritage. Son of the 60s icon Loudon Wainwright III and the folk singer Kate McGarrigle, Rufus and his sister Martha have both carved out hugely successful musical careers of their own. Rufus has released a string of highly acclaimed albums and he's played Carnegie Hall. He's been politically active too, denouncing the Iraq War and raising money for the Democrats. We're going to talk to him in a minute, but first, here's a clip of Rufus and Martha playing the Glastonbury Festival.
Come a long way since we last shook hands, we still got a long way to go. Couldn't see the flowers when we last shook hands, couldn't see the flowers on account of the snow. Couldn't see the flowers on account of the snow.
Rufus, welcome.
Hi.
The greatest singer-songwriter ever, says Elton John. That's kind of hard to live up to.
Well, he didn't say ever. I think he just said today.
Today.
So.
All right, okay.
But then that I can do.
Now, your fans know you well from some of the earlier albums, which are enormously ambitious and experimental, all sorts of musical styles pouring in. But you've been really making headlines, I guess, over these Judy Garland shows.
Yeah.
And just explain to people who didn't know you, this was her very, very famous 1961 concert.
Yeah. No, I did. Well, I first did it in New York at Carnegie Hall, and then I did it here at the Palladium 2 nights. And yeah, it was the Carnegie Hall show was they recorded it, and it was an album, and it was on the charts for a long time. So it's very familiar in the American psyche. I don't know about over here, but London was always a big Garland hub. So doing it over here was fun too.
Have you found British and European audiences particularly receptive? Because your dad, I mean, Loudon Wainwright III, I guess had a big following in the UK, probably bigger in some ways than in the States.
Yeah. No, my dad was on TV here for a while on the Jasper Carrot show, and actually lived in London for 12 years. So the thing with my career in Europe and England is that it took a while to sort of kick in, but now that it's actually happening, it's kind of a great almost activity for my public, because they can kind of discover all of these albums over the years. Because this is my 5th album, Release the Stars, coming out. And
it's got some sensational reviews.
Yeah, it's doing really well.
You said asked about the sound you wanted to create. You said it was the sound of cash registers.
Yeah, well, that was my aunt that told me to do that. But
so she's to blame.
She's to blame. No, but it's funny. A lot of people have commented about that comment, and actually on a few of the tracks there is the actual sound of a cash register.
Okay.
So that's where I put it.
You're quite political. I mean, you're going to be singing a song later on, which is a kind of full frontal attack on. Now, is it George Bush or is it wider than that?
Well, I mean, it's certain. Bush is part of the issue. Really, I never intended to write the song. It's called "Going to a Town." It sort of states my general sadness, really, over the situation that's at hand. And as I said, I never intended to write it. I was getting ready to go to dinner one night, and I had about 10 minutes to spare, and I sat down, and all of a sudden this diatribe arrived, before dinner. Oh Lord! And it was there, and even like when I recorded it or brought people into plan it, there was sort of an immediacy about it that the song dictated, so we're kind of going with that.
And you're writing an opera, big project for the Met, so no lack of ambition there. But I read that it's partly aimed at Madonna. You're going to bring down Madge.
No. Oh God, it's funny how things. Well, it's called Prima Donna, and it has nothing to do with Madonna at all. It's a day in the life of an opera singer. But I think I mentioned in the press somewhere that it was about her when she worked as a coat check girl at the Russian Tea Room.
Okay, great. Well, you're going to
took it seriously.
You're going to be playing that song for us later and joining us again.
Thank you.
But for now, thank you very much indeed, Rufus Wainwright. Thank you. Well, Chancellor is still here, and we're joined by all of those who have flitted by already. And, like the best politicians, I will keep my promises, which means that we have 2 more things to enjoy this morning. In a moment, Rufus is going to play us out. He's been practicing on this magnificent grand piano in the corner. But first, we have a very personal assessment of the Blair years and the changeover from Rory Bremner. Rory, thank you very much indeed. I noticed you laughing at quite a lot of that, Gordon Brown.
He is so good that sometimes people phone me and I'm talking to them and they actually think it's Rory Bremner. He is actually so good, and I think he's got Tony very well.
What about you?
I think pretty good. I'm afraid.
You're going to get a lot more of this.
You know, Margaret Beckett was fooled by his voice, and that's actually what happens on quite a lot of occasions. When people phone and people think it is Rory Bremner.
He was talking quite a lot about you know, the grandness of the play. Is it true you're not going to use checkers quite as much?
I'm going to do what's right for a Prime Minister. I'm not going to talk about these things.
All right, fair dues. Rufus is going to sing us out in a short moment with a political song. Do you? I mean, there was the Arctic Monkeys moment, but do you listen to a lot of modern music? Have you come across Rufus's stuff?
Yeah, and I was just congratulating him. And you're at the Old Vic.
Yes, I'm at the Old Vic at the end of the month. Yes, you must come.
It'd be great to hear
you. Must come.
Great to hear.
Okay. What about our two observers here? Matthew, what would you advise the chance? He's going to have a difficult few weeks because Tony Blair is, as Rory was still saying, still going to be there. How do you conduct yourself?
Well, you just keep on moving, you keep listening, and you keep rolling out policies. I think the Green Homes thing today is exactly what people will want to hear.
Helena?
I think that my advice is to be yourself. That's always good. We've had too much of other stuff. And I think that connect to the people. People want to actually be much more involved, and they felt cut out. And I think that it's great that you're going around and listening to people. And I think a whole box of fireworks of new things that can make people feel that there's going to be a different kind of politics.
Well, I know you'll keep telling me, Helena.
I will.
No shortage of advice.
I'll definitely give you advice.
And so will Matthew.
Everyone wants you to do something. Well, everyone. Most people seem to want you to do something about Iraq, but that's one of those areas where, despite Rufus, you can't help them much, isn't it?
I'm going to visit. I'm going to look at what's happening there. But you know, we have obligations to the Iraqi people, obligations that we've accepted.
It was one of the big mistakes.
That's your view, Helena. It's not mine.
Absolutely diplomatic to the last. Thank you very much indeed all. I'm afraid our time is almost up. I must thank all of our guests here this morning, and also, of course, thank Rory Bremner for entertaining us so royally. Next week, we hope to be speaking to Alex Salmond. If he is by then First Minister of Scotland, we will see. And the following week, we'll be joined live in the studio by the former Tory leader, William Hague. But right now, as promised, Rufus Wainwright's going to perform a song, Going to a Town, written by Rufus. Here he is.